The lights in Corridor 12 hummed with a soft blue glow. The station moved through empty space with a steady rhythm of a place that had seen too much and spoken too little. Jalen worked the night shift with a slow mop, a rolling bucket, and a small badge that marked him as a basic technician. Most people never looked at him. He did not mind. Silence felt like a friend that stayed by his side, even on his hardest days. The station carried many species, but the royal chambers at the far end were sealed away. Everyone spoke in low voices when they passed that wing. The alien queen had ruled 100 systems, yet her daughter lay in a dim room behind armored doors. Rumors said the young heir had not eaten in 2 weeks. Doctors from more than 10 worlds had tried to help her. Nothing worked. Some crew members said the sickness came from grief. Others whispered about a curse placed on the royal bloodline. A few believed she simply wanted nothing more to do with life. Jalen kept his head down and listened. The stories made him uneasy. Still, every night he swept past the guarded entrance to the royal wing. He caught brief flashes of movement inside, soft figures shifting like shadows. The guards stood in quiet lines with long spears of blue energy. Their armor looked ancient. Their eyes tracked every person who came close. One night, as Jalen moved along the corridor, he noticed the guards speaking in sharp voices. Their helmets tilted toward one another. Something was wrong. He pushed his mop aside and waited. A tall guard approached him and asked if he had seen anyone carrying food toward the wing. Jalen said no. The guard sighed with a tired sound that did not match his fearsome armor. The young princess had refused food again. Another doctor had failed. The queen herself was losing hope. Jalen nodded and returned to his work, but the question stuck with him. He wondered how someone could go so long without eating. He remembered days in his past when food had been rare. Those memories still lived in his bones. They shaped the quiet way he moved and the way he listened more than he spoke. The next night, he walked past the wing again. This time the queen stood in the doorway. Her tall shape seemed carved from smooth stone. Her eyes were bright with a deep sadness. She saw Jalen looking over, and for the first time in his entire shift history, she stepped toward him. The guards tensed, but she raised her hand. Everything grew still. She asked him a simple question. Had he ever cared for a child who refused to eat? The question felt strange to him. He told her he had helped raise his young cousins when food had been scarce. He learned to speak soft words. He learned to share what little he had. The queen listened closely. After a moment, she asked him to follow. Jalen had never imagined he would walk inside the royal wing. The air felt warm and heavy. The walls glowed with faint gold light. Deep within the chamber, the princess lay on a wide bed shaped from pale stone. Her skin shimmered like tiny crystals. Her eyes were closed. Her breathing was shallow. The queen explained that the princess could eat many kinds of food and survive. Her body had powerful ways to adapt. The real problem was that she no longer wanted to live. The last attack on their home world had broken her spirit. She no longer trusted anyone. Jalen looked at the child. She seemed so small inside the large room. He felt a push in his chest. He asked if he could speak to her. The queen agreed, though the doctors looked troubled. They had tried everything. They did not believe a simple janitor could do what trained healers could not. He pulled up a small stool beside her bed. He spoke the same way he had spoken to his cousins long ago. Soft words, honest ones. He told her about the noise of the mop bucket and how the station felt alive at night. He told her about the small plants he grew near the vents. He told her that even broken things could be fixed with time. He spoke until his throat grew dry. The princess opened her eyes a little. They glowed with a soft violet light. She watched him with quiet attention. She did not speak. She did not move. She only listened. Jalen felt something shift inside the room. He sensed a small bit of trust forming like the first drop of water in a dry river. He visited again the next night. The queen allowed it. The guard stepped aside. Jalen brought a small tray with simple human food. Nothing fancy, just warm broth and slices of fruit. He sat beside the bed and placed the tray on a low table. He talked again. This time he told her about a stray cat he once fed on Earth. The cat had been too scared to eat at first. He waited beside it. He talked until it felt safe enough to try a single bite. The princess watched the food. Her fingers twitched. She looked at Jalen, then at the queen, then at the bowl. After a long pause, she reached out. Her hand shook. She lifted a piece of fruit and took a tiny bite. It was small, but enough to shatter 2 weeks of fear. The queen gasped. A doctor dropped a tool. Jalen felt his heart pound in his chest. The princess chewed slowly and then reached for another piece. Word spread through the station in minutes. The young heir had eaten. The small victory carried the weight of a planet. Jalen did not understand why everyone stared at him now. He only saw a child who needed someone to sit beside her. For the next several days, she ate more. She asked for him by name. The queen thanked him many times. The guards bowed their heads when he passed. Jalen felt shy. He did not want attention. He only wanted the princess to get better. One morning, the queen invited him to her private garden inside the wing. The air smelled sweet. Tall trees grew beneath a glass dome. Small silver birds hopped along the branches. She told him that her daughter had begun to smile again. She even walked a little around her room. Jalen felt relief wash over him. The queen placed a hand on his shoulder and thanked him in a voice that carried centuries of strength and pain. He stayed in the garden for a moment and watched a beam of light drift across the floor. He had never imagined that a quiet janitor could change the course of a royal life, but he did not think about it much. He believed anyone could help someone else if they tried. The princess soon returned to normal life. She walked through the halls with soft steps. She still looked fragile, but her eyes were brighter. She shared small smiles with Jalen when she saw him. The queen restored order to her council and sent messages across many worlds that the heir lived and grew strong again. Jalen kept working as the night shift janitor. He still moved his mop with a slow, steady rhythm. He still listened more than he spoke. But sometimes he felt a warm thought rise inside him. A simple act of kindness had saved a royal life. Not because of skill or training, but because he dared to sit beside someone who had lost hope. One quiet night, as he swept the last corner of Corridor 12, the princess walked up behind him with a small cup of fruit tea. She held it out to him. He accepted it with a shy smile. She said very softly that he had given her a reason to live. Jalen told her that she had found that reason inside herself. He only waited with her until she remembered it. She looked up at him with grateful eyes. Then she returned to the royal wing, her steps light and calm. Jalen watched her go, then returned to his mop and bucket. The station lights glowed overhead. The quiet returned to him like an old friend.